Lake Orion Community Schools announced the 2020 school year will begin remotely, while the start of the high school football season will be postponed until the spring of 2021. Following the cancellation of Dragon on the Lake, the Orion Art Center hosted a smaller celebration in its place. Senior citizens enjoyed ice cream and discounts during the first ever Senior Day in downtown Lake Orion. And although it was delayed due to COVID-19, the Miracle League's 2020 season finally kicked off in August. Hello everyone, I'm Stacy Calloway. I'll have those stories and more on this edition of ONTV News. In March of 2020, Lake Orion Community Schools made the difficult decision of ending in-person learning due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Throughout the summer, there was much discussion as to whether or not in-person learning could resume when the school year begins in September. The Lake Orion Board of Education met on August 12th to discuss the start of the 2020-21 school year. Recently hired Superintendent Ben Kirby proposed that all schools remain remote online format through November 6th, the end of the first marking period. If health and safety standards are met, the school district is hoping to resume in-person learning and launch its Dragon virtual program on November 9th.
We're looking at doing the remote setting through November 6th. And I think it's important to understand that we feel that it was important to do this so that families can plan. We know that there is, a limited number of days before September 8th, but we didn't want to, continue to, look at data and make decisions. We felt like we had to make a decision. We also wanted to provide the date of November 9th for a goal to get everybody back to in-person who wants to be in person. I have stated here that October 16th is the date that I think is important. We would use that date. We would not make any changes after October 16th. So we're going to continue to look at all of the different metrics, look at what's going on across our state as far as those schools that do open up in person. But by October 16th, if there's to be any change, we would let families know so that they could plan accordingly. But we do feel like opening in a remote format is the best way to go.
Just 2 days later, on August 14th, the Michigan High School Athletic Association announced that the start of the 2020 fall football season would be moved to the spring of 2021 due to the sport's higher risk for spreading COVID-19. MHSAA Executive Director Mark Ewell talked about the difficult and emotional decision to postpone the season.
As our board, in consultation with the governor's office and state health department officials, looked at all the data and information, there were just too many unknowns and uncertainties where we could move ahead and play football and do it with a clear conscience and without that pit in our stomach. Do know that our other fall sports are scheduled to move forward because, simply put, they just don't carry the same risk levels that the hand-to-hand, face-to-face, every play contact in football requires of our young people that play this great game. Some would say that this really doesn't hit home, that those of us who are administrators and leaders often make decisions without kids in mind. And I can tell you that in this case, the exact opposite is true. I'm not only here speaking with you today as the director of the MHSAA, but as someone who's a parent of a senior football player. We've done everything possible to try and find that pathway forward for our football kids this fall. And we simply ran out of time and with the evidence to be able to do that as safely as we needed to do. So while the day will certainly be a disappointment to all of our football players, coaches, and families, of which the Ewells are part of that, just know that we're going to take today's disappointment and put all of our effort and energy into giving our kids the best possible football experience imaginable in the spring of 2021.
Not only has COVID-19 disrupted school and sports, it's forced nonprofits like the Orion Art Center to cancel their fundraisers. Earlier this year, the Arts Center canceled its annual gala, but they were hoping they could move forward with the Dragon on the Lake festival in August. Sadly, they were forced to cancel that event as well, but from the ashes of Dragon on the Lake rose a new event, the Crafty Dragon. Dragon on the Lake was born from the Chalk Art Challenge, which began 11 years ago. Although the festival was canceled, state-mandated social distancing restrictions allowed the Arts Center board to host the Chalk Art Challenge in the parking lot near Children's Park. 4 individuals and 5 teams created colorful works of art in assigned parking spaces, with judges selecting winners in elementary, middle school, high school, and teen categories. In addition to the Chalk Art Challenge, there was a virtual Dragon on the Run 5K, live art workshops and classes, and the Crafty Dragon Social. The ticketed event invited visitors to enjoy food and drink, as well as music from 2 different bands. In order to comply with COVID-19 restrictions, the Crafty Dragon Social was held at 2 different times, 5 p.m. and 8:30 p.m., and was limited to 100 attendees.
We spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to hold Dragon on the Lake in a very safe manner. It's near and dear to our heart. It is our biggest fundraiser of the year, and I think we were taking it kind of week by week, month by month, and adjusting with all of the governor's orders, what the CDC said. So it wasn't until we really got to the only 100-person maximum for the entire event that we really had to put it aside for this year. Very difficult decision for the board. But what we knew we wanted to do was to continue to bring the community together, connect with the art.
Although the Art Center has been hit hard by the lack of fundraising events, they're looking at alternative forms of fundraising, such as online auctions, and continue to offer outdoor weekly classes.
We have really tried to cater to the needs of the pandemic and the people in our community. Being creative and having an outlet to express that is really our mission in getting art out to the people, and especially during these times when it's so difficult to kind of process a pandemic. So we just want to keep pushing our mission until we get it out.
Yeah.
For more information about classes, membership, or to see the winners of the Chalk Art Challenge, visit orionartcenter.org. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the most vulnerable segment of the population has been the senior citizen population, forcing many to stay cooped up at home. Recently, Orion Township Parks and Rec offered seniors an opportunity to get out and explore downtown Lake Orion. On Thursday, August 20th, senior citizens were encouraged to check in at Cookies and Cream for the first ever Senior Day in downtown Lake Orion. Once they checked in, seniors received a free cup of ice cream at Cookies and Cream, then were encouraged to visit the dozens of businesses along Broadway and Flint Street that offered participants a 10 to 15% discount on their purchases. The event was offered earlier in the year, but was pushed back due to the pandemic.
This was in our spring Orion Living, but we did move the date into August just because it just felt a little bit safer now. And the weather was super nice to do in August. So we did move the date, but yeah, it was planned back in January.
How do you feel that you're finally able to pull this off and see all these people here together?
It's great. It's a nice feeling to have some of these seniors that have been cooped up in their home, out and about, getting to explore downtown Lake Orion. A lot of them haven't been out since probably March, so it's a really great experience for them to be able to socialize again in a safe manner.
Seniors were able to enjoy free ice cream thanks to the sponsorship of Lourdes Senior Community in Waterford.
Lourdes is a full healthcare continuum. We have over 245 acres of land nestled in Waterford, Michigan. We do skilled nursing care with a 5-star Medicare rating. We do long-term care. We do independent living apartments, assisted living apartments, and memory care apartments as well.
Awesome. Why did you want to be a part of today's event?
We wanted to be a part of today's event because our mission, being ran and funded by the Dominican Sisters of Peace, we have served the aging population for over 65 years, and we realize the importance of social interaction as you age in place at home. So our desire for community outreach is to come and provide an atmosphere for you to social distance and still have fun. So that's why we became a part of this.
For more information about Lourdes, you can call 248-886-5101 or visit lourdesseniorcommunity.org to find out about upcoming programs and events at the Orion Center. Visit orionparks.com. Although the pandemic has forced the cancellation of many sporting events, some outdoor activities were merely postponed. Recently, a special group of athletes came together, and our own Joe Johnson was there to cover the fun.
On Saturday, August 15th, the Miracle League of North Oakland kicked off its 2020 season with a game between the Lugnuts and the Hot Rods at Friendship Park. Opening day was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but after careful consideration, the league decided it was time to play ball.
We lost about 30 kids because of fear of COVID, and they decided not to play. But the kids that are playing today, they're so excited. All they want to do is get out and play baseball and have something to look forward to every Saturday, and that's why we're here.
August 9th marked the one-year anniversary of Miracle League of North Oakland. The field will host 2 games every Saturday at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. for 9 weeks. For most of the summer, it looked like the 2020 season might not happen.
Steve and I talked about, what are we doing? What do we think we're doing? Are we really going to try to do this? We should just postpone it. But again, the more Steve held conference calls every week or 2 weeks just to keep the families in the know. And again, as the most important message was, every day changes. What we know today could change tomorrow. And so we had to be consistent with that message. But we hung in there and they hung in there with us. So we were just so excited and thankful that we're here today. Yeah.
And if I could just add to that, as I said before, safety is number one out here. So we had to adhere to the governor's rules and regulations first and foremost for social distancing. But we also took a look at what other leagues were doing around the country, and that's for Special Olympics, for Little League Baseball, and we have done everything we could possibly do to make this as safe as possible. Normally in this league, again, this is a league that serves children with any form of disability. We have a pitcher and catcher position. We've eliminated those positions this year to social distance. When they check in, everyone has their forehead checked with a thermometer, so we know if they have a fever or not. They go through a questionnaire. We have these masks available, which I wear. I'm not now for the interview, but we're just doing everything we possibly can to make this safe, number one. That is number one here.
For more information, visit MichiganMiracle.org. You can also find North Oakland Miracle on Facebook. In Orion Township, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.
Thanks, Joe. As I said earlier, many nonprofit organizations are struggling to raise funds and are relying on the community for support. Recently, one local organization benefited from the efforts of a group of young girls who are trying to make a difference in the world. On Saturday, August 22nd, a group of girls calling themselves Girls Doing Good organized a pet drive at a home in Orion Township. Friends and neighbors were asked to drop off money and supplies to benefit K9 Stray Rescue League.
For a long time, we've been trying to do fundraisers that have never been working really. And we wanted to do like a lemonade stand or something to raise money for a local animal shelter. But then we thought, why not just do something, bigger and that'll get, more donations in it besides a lemonade stand. And also because of coronavirus going around, it's probably would be hard to get people to come to a lemonade stand. So
we took one whole day of going around the whole sub on our bikes, passing out stuff. And my mom over here texted everybody we know.
Yeah, and we have Facebook posts and a big poster board.
K9 Stray Rescue League is a volunteer-run organization located in Oxford and works with animal control to save pets that might otherwise be euthanized. They're celebrating 30 years of service to the community.
Oh my goodness, it is so exciting because the youth is our future, and if you can have youth, I'm going to cry, if you can have youth that shows compassion and empathy for different situations and are willing to help and support the charities that are established already, that can make such a more profound impact on what you can accomplish. Right now, monetary is fantastic for the purpose that we do have an old farmhouse, and it costs money to maintain that farmhouse. We are hoping to be able to purchase a new building or build a new building that suits our needs better as we're growing in size and knowing exactly where we can make a difference and what will help us make that difference.
If you'd like to make a donation or take a look at their Amazon wish list, visit k9stray.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Instagram. And when a pet is ready for adoption, they're listed on petfinder.com. And finally, in November of 2018, Lake Orion voters passed a $160 million school bond proposal. Recently, members of the school board got to see firsthand how the money is being spent. ONTV's Joey Tysick tagged along on the tour and has the story.
On Wednesday, August 26th, members of the Lake Orion Board of Education toured several buildings throughout the district to witness the renovations and construction that have been taking place throughout the summer. Stops along the way included Carpenter, Weber, and Orion Oaks Elementary School, including the new Early Childhood Center.
First, I just want to mention the community certainly should be proud of all the projects that are being accomplished. We had the opportunity today to come to Weber Elementary, Orion Oaks, Carpenter Elementary, and see the new ECC building. A lot of safety features going into the buildings as far as entrances and a lot of mechanical work, and then certainly the ability to work with our students in a better way. The STEM rooms are really going to be an advantage for our students, and the amount of academic time and support that our kids will get will definitely increase.
The tour was led by LOCS Director of Operations Wes Goodman, as well as representatives of contractor Raywold & Sons and GMB Architecture and Engineering. Work includes new parking lots, STEM labs, new classrooms, and more.
Facilities really make a huge difference in a school community. Certainly the early childhood center, the difference that'll make for our families, getting the students in early, working them in our programs and continuing them through their high school experience just makes a tremendous difference. And the pride that the district and the family is going to have with the facilities when our teachers come back and the students come back, everything's going to be taken well care of. And it's just like when you go into a new home, you want to make sure everything looks better than it did when you left. And I really anticipate that happening, and the community being very proud of what we have here with our facilities.
The renovations are divided into 3 series and will take place over the next 10 years. For more detailed information, visit lakeorionschools.org. In Lake Orion, this is Joey Tysick reporting for ONTV News.
Thanks, Joey. And with that, we'll wrap up this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the hardworking news team, I'm Stacy Calloway. Thanks for watching.